This is one heck of an anime. One huge bitch to tackle. Has some pretty dedicated fans, and hope I'm not gonna upset some hardcore motherfuckers with katanas.
Hey guys.
Right from the start, I can see why 86 isn't exactly a very successful popular anime on the level of Demon Slayer or Strap of the End. It has this assassination classroom issue, where just one or two characters seem important and the rest are just background characters brought to the front to seem like they matter, where in fact the anime just couldn't think of more interesting people to add around the story. You can have people die off and care about them and be colorful, interesting. 86 has this angel beats assassination classroom syndrome, where there are only like 2 or 3 interesting characters and the rest are like glorified background people who just brought to the front to fill it up. They actually have something to add, but it becomes painfully obvious as the show goes on that they are really not that interesting or cool. When these 86 unevolved, how can I call them, inferior people or inferior humans because they're not albinos, when they die, they have this hypocritical, whatever the fuck, talk about philosophy and understanding these humans, and then with social class and all that bullshit that are trying to critique society and add some questions about existence and all that, and of course war, which is a very bad thing where a lot of people die and a lot gets destroyed and lost. The way I see it, the main character is the only one that actually experienced character development, and she does develop, even though she has principles. She starts to learn alongside due to her experience with death, combat, her 86 squad. It is relatively good storytelling, but again, it lacks more competent side characters. Like in Fullmetal Alchemist, he had a lot of entourage. They were very colorful, they were impactful, they were meaningful on the battlefield and in the story, in character development. They added some weight to the overall story. They enriched the environment and elevated their rather, let's say, intriguing but simplistic story. Here, however, the story is good, there are some good ideas, they are trying to bring some social commentary and some ethical ones, and they are developing the main character, the girl, the albino. However, all the other characters in the background are just not on the level they should have been. They just don't add as much as secondary characters should be in relevance. I like her name though, Vladilena, or just Vladilena, or just Lena. I like her name. It's a very good name. It contains my name in her. Oh, I want to be inside of her. That's for true. Vladilena. Vlad is like my name because I'm East European, even though I live in Central Europe. Anyhow, it is fun. Great uniforms.
What do you talk about?
Lots of stuff. Some of it's not related to work or the mission. Even apart, our hearts are connected.
Interesting storytelling. However, secondary characters way down. A very good example would be Darling the Phoenix 6. 02 and Hero were the only ones that were good. I mean, 02 is the only great character, the one that really holds it up and is like, boom, waifu of 2 consecutive years until Tifa came out from Final Fantasy Remake. Hero is okay, it's servable for a main character, very stereotypical, but even so, here is like, it feels very empty, and the interactions they have seem forced, and it lacks the color and the character-driven moments.
And yet, because these people, these 86, are not human beings, we claim that they're autonomous!
It feels kind of lame to have all these background characters brought to the front and not have really much to add. look at Kakegurui, for example. You had Yumeko, you had Kirari, you had Oblonga, Mei, you had so many beautiful girls there, and they all had something to add in each episode, a certain challenge, and they remain relevant even after defeat. So yeah, that's a big issue I have with 86, and that would be my strongest point. It lacks the impactful visuals to convey an emotional story. It feels kind of sterile, and I guess it is a military facility, and she has all that rank and power and responsibilities that she has to deal with.
You need to stay mobile. I'm sending their spotters estimated positions. 3 potential locations. Confirm and take them out.
I guess it is how more or less a military life should play out to be. It's just other anime like Violet Evergarden focus more on the humane aspect, more on the death, more on the suffering, more on the revelations. And from what I've seen, this anime is trying to convey those ideas. It just has taken the wrong approach to otherwise pretty impressive and captivating themes about life, suffering, death, and of course the war. It also plays a lot into the sacrifice aspect of society.
Though we may stand apart, when night falls, we look up at the same stars.
Wait, you told the new recruits all that?
I did.
What is acceptable? Who are the ones who have? Who are the ones who don't? The unfairness of life. It does try and succeed to a certain degree. However, again, there are some small missteps they are taking, which sadly are impactful heavily on the overall product. Now, I've seen some cosplayers and I really like the art style. It reminds me a lot of the steampunk look from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Also love their military uniforms. The blue color is very nice. This new anime art style is pretty good, kinda like in Freerun, and now 86. Having a female main character is pretty badass because, well, hopefully fan service and stuff and shower scene and boobies and titties and white hair and her beautiful name and all the other possibilities.
Drones and how they're treated, Lena.
We both know that they aren't drones.
Anyhow, it has an interesting concept. Tries to be a bit more different, but again, it's been done before to have people not be considered people. Kind of like in Ike, when they're robots, women, sexy, blow-up dolls. They also have feelings, and you can actually teach them stuff, and they can fall in love with you, or else you can collect them and break them apart. Nick is pretty badass game. Play Nick. I really recommend Nick. I have like a huge playthrough on my channel. It's fucking badass. The main character is cute. I think that's the main appeal of the anime. Let's be honest. Most people here are checking in for the waifus. Well, exactly, for the main one. I mean, she's super hot. She's military lady girl with an attitude kind of like the class president archetype.
Milk.
It's so good!
So, how'd you like the real thing?
It's amazing!
But this time with white hair. And thus Yui Katagawa and relatively flustered, all about uptight rules and justice. It is fun to have her around. She is attractive and cool, has a cute personality. She has this moe appeal to her, and all these cute little moments she has with the secretary, or the other girl with short hair.
Referring to the cream puffs I made last time, would you, my dear Lena?
They are trying to make this comedy routine and make it more humane and kind of relatable to add a bit of slice of life comedy and a bit of easy banter. It is fun, and yeah, I guess it's kind of like in Freedom. I have to check that one as well. The character is just fun and good to look at, and it's attractive, and just draws people in, which make them be a bit more partisan in regard with the overall story and the anime, and blow out of the proportions, as if it's the greatest thing ever, when in fact, hey, you're here to look at this, the main girl. Well, she's kind of flat. Don't fucking kill me, okay? Don't call it baseball bats to me. She has an amazing body. Just hold your horses, bro. She's super hot. I mean, I've seen a cosplay of her. She has all these more expressions. She's just cute. She's fun to have around. She's kind of like that 16th Abel from Best Texture of Akashic Records. Like you're talking about that cat girl. Or kind of a combination of her and Estef. If you have to compare like military strength and all that shit. But still, it's fun. She's good to look at. It's attractive. It brings people in. Makes the money. She's the money maker. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I'm being a bit rude about it. It's just, yeah. Just like I said, it's fun. It's a great character. I can see why people really enjoy this show. It's all about her. Lena is what really keeps it up, and it's sad because there are other type of anime where you have more relative main characters. I mean, secondary ones that also have the last mass screen time as the main one.
Into it. They thought it might be a problem with the para raid. Quitting isn't a big deal, but a suicide needs to be looked into.
And?
Dunno.
You don't know?
Queen's Blade, I mean, okay, maybe you might not like ecchi, or maybe you might be into more serious stuff, like this one about war. I'm just talking about how characters are presented and how they are relative within screen time and impact of the story. The anime found a way to make all the girls relevant and all, well, most of them stand out. And it was fun. Here, there is a structure. There is a fucking platform. There is something that could have been built on and made into an amazing fucking show. Sadly, it's like one of those anime that just barely doesn't make it into being like this awesome mainstream phenomenon. It remains pretty good, it remains accessible, but more for a niche audience. And of obvious, well, reasons that I've stated a few times ago. Like I said, the main reason people like this show is because of the girl. She's very moe, she's very upright, she's very fun. There's also another main character, the guy with the bandana, the Noragami guy, the who acts all suave and silent and complex to be more intriguing. And he's the guy who also shoots people in the head with a tragic backstory and probably kind of looks like the guy from Fullmetal Panic. Very silent, very focused on his mission and all about business. He also, when the other people are partying, he's also keeping himself more to the side, more of a loner, this lone wolf persona, that he's a fucking badass. He's probably gonna be the one who survives the most and gets to bang the bitch up.
Your voices travel far. And there's one at the rear of Combat District 1, and I know he's been waiting.
I mean, who knows if they're gonna get, like, a relationship and all that shit. Thinking about that, as I said, the more aspect of the main character of Lena girl, it's kind of a contradiction with all the other suffering and psychological trauma she has to go through, and then she does clumsy, cute things that make people laugh and enjoy her as a whole.
Major?
All's fine over here.
I can see why girls will relate to her, and she's very businesslike. She has this ethic side to her story. She has this epic whatever struggle of development, but she's also cute and super hot. She's very popular. Yeah, this is what girls would like to see themselves in, and hey, as a guy, it's nice to fap to her. She's pretty fun. When she goes to the party and she has that flower in her head, she's pretty hot. She's pretty cool. She's like a younger, nicer Estef, combined with the 16 LaBelle. Some bullshit there. Well, also kind of like Tessa from Metal Panic, the lolly commander. So yeah, I can see why people like the character. She's fun. Again, the more I expect, it's kind of a bad contrast with all the other death and suffering and all this war stuff. It's very contradictory in the way the anime feels. It's very wanky from time to time. But I guess that's what makes this anime stand out and be special. It's more of a question of taste. What would you prefer? How do you prefer to enjoy it? And it just, for me, it doesn't really fly. It's a nice character study, even though kind of sterile and tries to be more about the psyche and the philosophy of their new system. Violet Evergarden did a lot better in regard with conveying emotions and bringing a certain humanity to the massacres happening on screen, which was good. It also didn't have so many quirky, sort of funny moments, like this anime tries to spice it up to make it very stereotypical for the industry it represents. I mean, it is fun. It is a good change up of feelings, which pretty much makes the other bad events more impactful. However, as I said, it doesn't convey feelings as good as I would have liked. The main character is great. You have to pay more attention to her as she develops throughout the story due to new events, information, deaths of other characters, how she evolves as she learns alongside her journey. It is good character development for the main girl. It lacks a lot of help from the other cast of characters. Just a shame because it has a lot of potential and it's fun. Violet Evergarden, again, did it fucking better. Sorry, I have to keep making comparison with that anime because that anime has its problems, okay? It doesn't do everything perfect, and maybe in some aspects this one is better. It has more feeling, more weight to it. Maybe because it was more gory or more explicit in certain ways or more eccentric when it comes to feelings and overall the colors of the universe, the colors of the anime. It was a lot more bright, it was a lot more energetic. You felt a lot more invested, you felt more attracted to the screen due to the stimulation of your visual faculties. Here, however, whenever the main girl is on screen, it's awesome, it's fucking great. It's what it was supposed to be, what everyone is talking about, how amazing this anime actually is. However, she's not on screen, and we have the secondary characters, kinda like in Dark the Phoenix 6, when pretty much everyone except Zero Two, maybe Hero Little, are all lame and mediocre, and it's just the main girl that really holds it up and makes it this impactful cultural phenomenal. Otherwise, it's a sad thing that the story is lacking, and the secondary characters are not on par with what they could have been. Akame ga Kill, again, I can make a comparison to other anime because I really consider this to be good. I wish it would have raised the bar just a little bit higher, and then it would have been on par with other more spectacular mainstream names like Strap of the End, Akame ga Kill, Tokyo Ghoul. It had the potential to go there. However, it's gonna remain sort of mediocre for reasons that are sadly not the main character. The main character is awesome. It's just the other ways, lack of color around her. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on 86. I can see why it's popular. The main girl is very attractive and she's fun. Her dilemma about war and casualties very much is at the center of the whole story. How she handles the grief and loss of expendable, well, people, because they're not really considered high-ranking humans because they're not albinos. I mean, they haven't achieved Ultra Instinct as of yet, so therefore they're not worthy. Somewhere along those lines. Even so, I want to also mention that I kind of see the way it looks like past the teacher of Akashi Records, even though it's a whole different idea and vibe from the show. That one's a comedy harem, whatever the fuck. This one's like tries to be very serious about certain issues in regard with death, honor, and your duty. I'm just mentioning them. Overall ambience, the uniforms, even the art style has this steampunk looks at it. Kind of like Violet Evergreen. I think that's the best anime I can make comparison to, even though Violet Evergreen did manage to make other characters a bit more relevant to her development. Here it's mostly her and her psyche. It's what she's thinking, how she reacts to certain stimulation, like death of her squad or information about the past. It is interesting to see how she develops, and it is fun to see a fucked up system and how it unfolds and how unfair it is for others. I mean, it's kind of tragic, that's what the anime is all about. The horrors of war and how humans deal with it. All things considered, 86 is a pretty damn good anime. Sadly, it's right there on the border alongside Noragami, Strap of the End, and Violet Evergarden. The type of anime that are good, but they don't really make it into the mainstream as like really amazing, like Demon Slayer or even Fire Force, Soul Eater, Fullmetal Alchemist. These titles that are really heavy hitters and make it far. It's more like it's on the border, similar to Fullmetal Panic, and even so, Akame ga Kill kind of on the same level. So yeah, I really like the waifu. The main girl is Lena. Is pretty hot. She really looks like S-Def when she makes that evil face.
You mean... Now you get it. Your friend's in my unit. Combat commander of the Spearhead Squadron. And his call sign is Undertaker. That's your Shin. Are you sure? It's really him? No!
They're trying to develop a character, make her into this dilemma, or whether she wants to be good or wants to be like a piece of shit like all the rest, and how she manages to deal with losses and life and responsibilities and all the other attributes of her rank and status. It is fun. Again, she's good at conveying emotions. Her crying is pretty cool. Her running is pretty epic. However, depth of characters, they're a lot more impactful in Violet Evergarden. When the Major died, you felt it. It was more like blood everywhere, suffering, talking about lost dreams and whatever bitches and vacation house and penthouses and whatever he might have had with all that fucking money he had, that rich boy motherfucker. I guess he deserved to die, he had it all. Anyway, and in Akame ga Kill, secondary characters are a lot more relevant to overall action, and when they died you actually felt like you lost something important from the overall series. While here when these 86 die, it does feel like they're just filler, fodder, nameless soldiers like the clones are in the Clone Wars, even though there are some pretty good ones that stand out. Ironically, the show fucks itself up in this regard. It tries to show that this 86, this non-albino people, are just as good or relevant as the white ultra instinct albino overlords of society. But when they die, Emilia tries to make it count, tries to bring some emotion and tears to the screen. But as a viewer, at least from my perspective, I feel very distant and unattached to these characters. Except for the two bitches, the one with white hair that for some reason is in 86, and the one with red hair. She's pretty busty, she has pretty big titties. Kind of reminds me of Goblin Slayer in that regard. In Goblin Slayers, all the bitches were important. All the girls, like, I was always at the edge of my seat to see what's gonna happen. Is he gonna save them? Are they gonna get captured by the goblins? I was like, ooh, invested and focused. Here the 86 are very background characters and they're very irrelevant. Except for the main guy who does the silent thing and tries to be broody and cool. Anyhow, the way it is, I think it's a good anime. I can't give it more than 7.8, however. It's in the Noragami area. It's a great show to watch. It's a good character study for the main girl. Lena's super hot. She's a impressive waifu. I mean, if you really like women, it's good in that regard. She has some character development. She has a good moe moments. She is the one that actually gets to experience what other animes you manage to convey for a group of characters while he's just one. It works. Whatever. It's fun. It's a bit of drama. It's a bit of comedy. Enjoy it. It's a fun cosplay to have, however. At the convention there were a lot of 86 girls. It looks pretty good. It looks very military, very steampunk. Reminds me of Fullmetal Alchemist. But again, this is not an S-tier anime like Tokyo Ghoul or Code Geass. It's not on that level. Even when it comes to the action. Like, don't get me fucking started with the action. The action here, okay, I don't want to piss people the fuck off, but I gotta say it. The action here is uninteresting. All the spiders are visually unimpressive, are all similar, they all fucking look the same. It's just the pilot that it's trying to bring some diversity to the whole team. At least in Darling the Friend X6, you had distinct robots, and they all look different, and they have these impressive colors and explosions and fighting and whatever. Here all the spiders are minuscule, they look very small on the map, kind of like foot soldiers, and they're all like similar modules. Sorry, as again, the irony is that 86 tries to go against the premise of social class and having foot soldier be expendable as cannon fodder, but then again, it fails in that regard because it is what it is at the end. It's just Emilia who... Lena, right? Fuck, I keep confusing her with the SAO chick. It's she who kind of tries to fight against the system, but also gets crushed by it emotionally from time to time. It's a fun character study. Whatever. If this is one of your favorite anime, okay, I see the good parts. It just, as I see it, is not. No, it's not. It's not the next JoJo or whatever. Even Fullmetal Panic managed to balance comedy and action a bit better. Anyhow, these are my thoughts. I hope you guys don't want to chop my fucking balls off now. Again, I don't hate on the anime. It's fun. It's good to look at. He has plenty of positives. See you guys later. I give 86 a 7.8 out of 10. In case I haven't mentioned before in the review, I'm gonna put a score right now on the screen, so we're gonna even the score. Hey bro, I think you love 86, the second season, right? Oh, this is what you like, don't you? Man, 86 second season sucks.